Welcome everyone to the Copywriting Clinic. Yeah, this is a nice casual atmosphere. We're going to have fun playing with some words today. So essentially, yeah, Copywriting Clinic is a chance to bring what you're working on in real life and get real-time feedback on your projects. So we allot a time slot, about 2 hours for this, and I'd love to know who has stuff for us to check out today. Michael, I know you've got some stuff for us to look at. And yeah. Phoenix, you as well?
Yeah, I'm working on like a 30 to 45 second commercial for one of the new sponsors for GTW Liberty Radio, Think Penguin.
You look like a real radio guy with that microphone there, Phoenix.
Thanks. It busted it all out because I've got the computer set up and everything. Once we're done here, I'm going to start recording it and working on it.
Nice. And by the way, guys, what do you think of Michael's new glasses?
Oh, I like them.
He looks even more intelligent.
Makes him look very scholarly, doesn't it?
Does. Mm-hmm.
Amazing what 70 pesos will do, huh?
God, I remember a time when that was $7.
Your camera ready. Your camera ready, Mike. What was I telling you?
I think they look way better than the last ones, by the way. So just my opinion.
I like them.
You know, my subconscious like crushed my glasses like 3 times this past week, and the 4th time it was like they just gave out, and I was like, well, I was about ready to just go blind. I was thinking about getting myself a little blind cane and just going around like that, kind of soaking up that for a couple months.
And then
but Agnieszka forced me to go out there and get some glasses.
Well, I got some reading glasses that were really cheap, like just for reading labels, because in the grocery store I can't. And then I showed him my glasses and I'm like, look, these look totally decent, and they were like $5, so check them out. And he went and checked them out, and it's his prescription and everything. It's crazy.
Nice.
Like free market or something.
It's like it's as though there's this invisible hand that moves people and helps people out. My God, it's weird.
What is that?
Anyway, so what is something from Phoenix and something from Michael?
Mm-hmm. And anybody else on the call today have anything for us to check out today?
Not for me. I'm here for the exercise.
Cool. All right. Well, that's fine. That just means that we'll be able to take our time and like really give these things the attention that they deserve. Cool.
It means that he's here to teach. So, you know, if you don't bring anything, you have to like critique what they brought. So then you're here to teach.
Oh, thank you for that upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely group feedback is welcome. Utilize the Zoom chat, you know, as we go, and especially as we're going to start doing some brainstorming on some things. Start just like putting those brainstorms into the chat, and we'll be able to save that file later on for those that are here to be able to, yeah, reference later on and yeah, take words from. Let's see what else. Agnieszka, anything important you think I'm forgetting before we just dive in?
You're supposed to find out that the people that are bringing pieces are actually have consumed the other course to make sure that they're at the level that we need them to be. But we're not really that strict. But that was part of the meeting. Phoenix, how up are you?
Can you describe that again?
Have you consumed the other copywriting course, the original that we recorded last year or whatever?
I don't believe so. No, where's it at? Is it in the University of Reason?
Oh shit! Maybe he doesn't even have access to it yet, or does he?
Possibly not. But I also, yeah, and I also actually have an announcement, everybody. Pretty exciting. A long time in the works is a full copywriting course is getting ready to be released in the next, like, oh my God, next, I'd say week or two. is going to be available. This has been like, I've been working on this for way too long. There was definitely several months in there where I was not moving the needle at all. So I can't say that I've been constantly working on it over the last year, but has been a long time in the works. So I've got some finishing touches that I'm putting onto it, but it is so close. And I actually, Agnieszka, I just recently, so that first copywriting clinic that we did called How to Not Break Trust While Copywriting was like a broad overview on all things copywriting. And I actually just got done, I like revamped that. So I made like a dialed in, it's like a 20-minute version basically of that I did with like a slide presentation. So like I think that there's value in both. So I have like a 20-minute concise like overview of copywriting. And then we have this awesome clinic that we did that's like roundtable discussion, had different questions come up at the end that brought out more discussion. So there's definitely a lot of meat in both, but I just put out the most recent one. The only place I posted it so far was actually in the most recent autonomy newsletter that went out yesterday. And then I'm also, I believe Mr. Grove is going to be announcing the course like tonight, possibly Q&A on Sunday. So everybody's about to hear about it, but you guys are hearing it here first. Very
Congratulations.
excited. Thanks.
That's a good present for my birthday. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I'm brainstorming since I'll tell you guys, I'm brainstorming alternative titles for it. So the beta version that was out recently for a little while this last season was just Autonomy Unlimited Copywriting Fundamentals. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a really boring name.
Yeah.
It's clear, it is what it is, but it's boring. And I feel like I can do better. So, we talk a lot about trust. And so I was thinking of things like trust-based copywriting, but something more unique than just copywriting fundamentals, I think.
What about copywriting you can trust?
Ooh, I like that. It's all
Write
about,
like Hemingway. Write like
Mhm.
Hemingway.
Do we read like Hemingway though? We would have to
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that, because that's kind of the essence that, we're trying to go for, because as we all know, there's a lot of unethical practices in the world of marketing. And so like us here being able to stay aligned with our values and really live in that culture of excellence, we like to stress that point of, copywriting is about building trust. And so the course is all about, best practices that'll help you build up that trust and keep it. So that's really that's the core message and the foundation of the whole course. And I think that needs to be conveyed in the title. So
Why not?
on that.
Autonomy Unlimited, trust, excellence, copyright.
That's good, not for the course, but that's good for Autonomy Unlimited.
Right, exactly. I'm writing down. I like all the brainstorm notes. Make me happy.
How about using words to grab people?
Ooh, nice. I like that too, Helen.
Oh, Helen's great.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Knew I could count on you, Helen.
She's brilliant, that one.
She may not be able to get her microphone working right now, but she'll put some gold in that chat thread. You'll see.
You know what? I don't know if I believe her microphone story. I think sometimes she just doesn't want to. And she's like, oh no, technology got the better of me. Oh, woe be me. I think she's craftier than we all think.
I think there was another one in there also. Hayes, Trust Writing.
Yeah.
That sounds good too.
Nick, we would never kick you out. And I know that you've gone through pretty much the whole beta course. So yeah. Oh yeah, you definitely
That was the
should be here.
requirement. The theoretical requirement to attend this course was to attend the beta course. But of course, we're not really enforcing it because we're softies and we just come up with these rules to break them.
How about call it copy trusting? Sorry about that one.
All right. Well,
I think you guys just need to work on the funnel people into that, because I didn't get funneled.
Oh yeah, no, I know. That's definitely that. Yeah, That's definitely on our part. Like, this is kind of like the revamp number 3 of the copywriting clinic. We've had like 2 other big rounds of these. And I know in the last one, we were really good about that, where we like put the link out to the recording, and, you know, we didn't do any of that stuff this time around. So don't worry, you guys are all good.
Marketing.
Oh man, if I use all of the practices that I use for my clients on myself, oh, I'd be sitting great. I don't know what it is about like doing all this work for myself that like there's so much resistance. I'm working on
And you
that.
know what? I'm the laziest marketer ever, because I just wait for people to come. I'm like a spider. I built this little thing on Upwork and I just sit and wait. I don't actually do anything. Like, you know, I'm telling people the stuff, oh, you need to do this and you need to do this. And you personally, nada. I don't even like change my write-up, like maybe once every 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's not broke. Don't need to fix it.
Quick question about the copywriting course. How
Mhm.
many lessons are there? Because I think I went through the first 3 of the beta that you put out, and I'm telling you, those were fabulous.
Oh,
And
I
then
thanks.
definitely learned a
coming
great
for some
deal.
reason. Oh, I remember why. Your internet went down 1 week and then you just didn't come back.
Well, I think those were the only 3 that were there, and then I don't think I ever went back and at that time.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think, because if you count I also included the vault of all of these copywriting clinics that we've done. So including those, there was like 50 lessons total, but not counting all of those. I mean, there's, I think like 20, 25, something like that. There's a good like 7 or 8 modules, and it's growing. That's the cool thing too, is I'm not making people wait for me to totally fill out every single module. Got a really good start, but there's more lessons that are going to continue to get added onto those as I continue. Like the email marketing module is definitely lacking. There's like a few lessons in there, but there's so much more that I have to share. So working on adding some more lessons to that. Mm-hmm.
The ability that I've been learning in the last year, bringing 2 companies back from the brink of destruction back to like 30 plus. Thank you very much.
Oh, I need you to teach me.
That was, yeah, it's got to be done slow.
Yeah. So that's definitely an area that I don't have as much experience in, as far as like, the deliverability stuff and improving all of that. So I would love to learn from you.
We can make a deliverability copywriting clinic in January.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Didn't one in January last year too? That was deliverability in January.
I think so. And then I know you mentioned that you had learned more since then. Things had been like upgraded or changed. And so so I knew that, I remember us talking about that it needed like an upgrade. We needed to do a new one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now I found out that there's all these different levels. So like a company like Infusionsoft, for example, has you somewhere in their chart, right? But you can have, there's like 3 different levels of servers, and each level gets a different deliverability. So if you guys in autonomy, if you're, depending on how trusted you are by the spam bots, you go to a different server inside Infusionsoft. And so your emails get to more people because you're on a better server. And if you make an appointment with your like advisor or whatever, your account advisor, he can look in the back end and he can give you information about your reputation that you never knew, like stuff so deep in like 12 different categories. I think I have an example somewhere I can show you guys.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. Reputation.
All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to do that. Oh yeah, I remember see Oliver talking now. I remembered one more announcement. So I was thinking, Agnieszka, I am trying to create some consistency with this clinic. It's been challenging for me the last few months because I've been just busyness and things up in the air. So I didn't set a set schedule for when these clinics are going to be. Last month and this month happens to be the 2nd Friday of the month. So I was kind of thinking about moving forward, locking it in with that. How do you feel about that, Agnieszka?
Sure.
Just to start. I mean, I'd like to, it'd be fun to pick it up more, maybe even in between seasons. We could ramp it up a little bit, but at least to start, just like give some consistency. rather than just surprising you guys. You're like, hey, we're doing a clinic tomorrow. Here's your warning.
I like it on a Friday because it's like an autonomy day already, right? There's
Mhm.
also autonomy things happening on a Friday, so it just fills it in.
Yeah. Cool.
And
Well,
there's
I'm
a
gonna
good time
roll.
slot also.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good for me too. So we'll roll with that for now. And then, as if things change, we'll let you know. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. So let's see, Michael, I saw you already put in a link in the chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. And then Phoenix, if you could put what you want us to look at into some kind of like a Google Doc or something that will, or even like a Word document or something that I can open up on my screen for when we get to you. Is that okay?
Yeah, give me, it'll take me a minute, but
Yeah.
yeah, I should be able to do that.
That's why I figured we'll start with Michael's and then you've got plenty of time.
Awesome.
Cool.
Dude, I'm gonna copy this whole spreadsheet. I found a spreadsheet from the deliverability guy. I'm gonna copy it and give you access to it so you can see how he works and the stuff that he
Awesome.
analyzes and shit. Cause shit, man.
All right, perfect.
And Michael, I just requested access. You need to share it with me, please.
Yeah, may I do that too? I think it's because my Gmail is not my Yahoo, so it might be the disconnect.
You could just make it available to everyone with the link and send the link. That's easier.
I thought that's what I did.
Hmm.
Did you make the link?
Isn't it supposed to be the, like when I hit share?
Then down below,
It's restricted to only people that have this link.
open up that restricted, because if it's restricted, it's only with who you share with. So I think you have to change it to anyone with the link.
Is it right?
Anything in one like comment though, so you don't want them to edit, right?
She just literally walked to the other side of the
Or
house.
did you make a pair editor?
That makes me laugh.
Yeah. And did you copy link?
Yep.
You just okay, so now paste the link in there. That should work.
I honestly thought they were miles away. That's a teleporting trick that I wish I had.
All right.
Did that work?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't know what I did differently. That's technology.
No
So I'm not married
problem.
to practically everything in here. I do like that first little segment though. And I
And,
actually like the part about the teaching and healing and stuff. But other than that, I don't know.
All right, so this is a press release for Agorapoko 2022. Okay. Is there more that we should know about this beforehand?
Obviously it's the 12th and 13th of February, so the time frame is pretty quick. Let's see.
Wait, are you quiet or where's your microphone?
Can you hear me?
Is it just a little quiet?
I'm just gonna review the stuff here and make sure. Obviously what I want to do is crowdsource all the
So what's the goal of
work.
this press release? What is your ultimate thing you want to achieve with this writing?
Well, I think more than likely I'm going to record this in a video as well, and then just kind of get it out to all the people that.
That does not answer my question.
So this is kind of an announcement to all the people that are familiar with Anarchapulco, Agorapulco.
And what do you want to announce? What action do you want to take them to take as a result of your announcement?
Well, I want them to know that we're going to be doing something on the 12th and 13th of February, number one. And just a little bit about, how we're going to do it. It's going to be different. And certainly I think one of the things that's probably the most meaningful thing is the idea of honoring Nathan Freeman, who passed away this past year. He was, kind of the guy that ran Anarchapulco from 2016 to 2018.
So is the goal of this to have them sign up for this event or to have them informed of this event?
Yeah, just informed, because we're not ready with the landing page yet. That's going to be something else which needs to be done.
Okay.
But, from the people that are on this call, some of the people that are on this call and some of the others, I think we're putting together a pretty robust team of people that can get this done and make it look good.
We need to find somebody to be able to get money. Donation.
Well, that situation. I think I'm about there.
All right.
And
Okay.
so target audience, these are people that already are familiar, like have participated in Agorapulco in the past, or is this like a broad audience?
Yeah, so yeah, this is definitely a specific audience. Anarchapulco and Agorapulco people that have been to Acapulco already. We're talking, and then of course the anarchist voluntaries community.
And is this going to be like, is this going to be an email? Or
I imagine we could do it in the email, but I think it would probably be most effective in a video, because I can kind of hand it off to maybe 20 or 30 people and say, let's pass this around word of mouth, and hopefully that'll happen.
okay.
You have complete control over the document, right? You can edit it.
Yes.
And you put an extra R at the end of respirar because he misspelled respirar.
I just use Google Translate,
Oh,
Where?
respirar, the title, in quotations below.
Blind. Oh,
This is Agora and not Anarcho?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so the difference between Agorapulco and Anarchapulco is Jeff Berwick, and it's the thing that's been going on since 2015 in Acapulco. Agorapulco is something that's relatively new, although I've been trying to do it for a couple years now at some degree. Last year was the first time to use this name, but it's the grassroots kind of community version of Anarchapulco. And so it's much more budget friendly and kind of the hippie crew to some degree, and the more open-minded people.
The audience knows the difference and knows, because there's Anarcho and Agora, they know what's going on here.
I definitely think because there has been a rift in the community when it comes to Anarchapulco. It started around 2018 and it's continued where, it's like they've divided between the haves and the have-nots, really, where the people that spend more money, the bigger entrepreneurs and cryptopreneurs, have been the target market for Anarchapulco, whereas I've tried to keep the kind of the bigger, I don't know, what do you call them? The common folk. I've tried to appeal to them.
Grassroots, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There's a request for this to be read out loud, and I think that's a good idea since there's a chance this might turn into a video. And Mike, do you want to do that since you would be the one theoretically in this video?
I can try, and all right. It has to be done. It has to be fun. Agorapulco 2022. The amount of bullshit out there is at record levels, and people keep swimming along, apparently oblivious to many as the Western world is being converted into a communist hellhole. And the one thing the communists can guarantee, it will get worse every year. For those who desire better rather than worse in the future, we're here for you. In the spirit of Anarchapulco 2015, 2016, one of the things we're going to do is to have a big event in Acapulco, that old school flavor to honor one of Acapulco's finest, Nathan Freeman, who passed away this past year. Agorapulco is an offer and an opportunity open to anyone into the community. So anyone is welcome to make offers to the community, to demonstrate, to teach, to make aware, to heal, to deliver value in any non-harmful way. Got a great idea, something useful people should know about? Let us know how we can assist. We will help. As an example, a loving contribution from within the local community is a 2-day expo called Respirar Acapulco. We're going to offer an exciting lineup of brief talks by well-respected people on a wide range of topics, and then panel discussions on the most relevant issues facing us, a community Q&A, and much more. Tickets will be less than $100. If you want a room for the event, you can get it all for less than $200. This is Agora. Bring valuable stuff to the market. And it's an excellent location with all sorts of things within walking distance. February 12th and 13th. We may have some fun evening events too. Don't you need a break from the stupidity? Aren't you exhausted from the insanity yet? If you can't leave your country bound for Acapulco, it may not be a country. It may be a prison. These are just kind of my spend some time with some interesting, well-read, peace-loving people. Talk about things that truly matter. Examine the finer things in life. It's the intelligent thing to do. And with all those intelligent people around, we're going to put out the call for talent to get together the ideas and learn for 2023. If you're interested in demonstrating a better way, there's going to be no better place than Acapulco in February.
See the
A lot
difference
of
in-
different things there.
Yeah, and I mean, and honestly, I think that's just a good practice for you to read it out loud, because I know that just as you were reading that, you were getting tons of ideas of how things might need to be shifted. And for everyone here, no matter what kind of copywriting you're doing, after you've done your first write through, read it out loud, read each and every word out loud, and that, you know, regardless on if it's intended for a video or not, read the words out loud and see how they sound.
Yeah, I will say, you know, being that I'm a copywriting clinic veteran, to some degree, the things that I thought were important, I kind of threw them out there. And then I figured, you know, like some of this stuff is probably going to be shit canned. And hopefully the stuff that, you know, that, you know, spoke to people, you know, was noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like the bottom paragraphs to take those, cut them and then paste them up as the initial announcement, because that second to last paragraph is fantastic for an opener.
Mm-hmm.
You need a break from, you know, welcome to Agora. Do you need a break from stupidity, the communist hellhole?
And I would
Aren't you exhausted from insanity?
I would avoid the word have to or has to in a letter to anarchists. Like I would completely remove any kind of coercion from the writing.
Mm.
Like you started with, it has to be done, right?
Mm.
It's not really anarchist friendly. This, don't you need a break from stupidity? That's good anarchist friendly jargon.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they say on a daily
Well,
basis.
done in fun though, those rhyme. That
But
was my
has to,
thought.
has to. It's like prison.
I had a suggestion for that. It has to be done. It has to be fun. And then something right after that. So we're doing it. Agorapulco 2022. Join us.
Actually, I would just start with we're doing it. Agorapulco 2022. Join us. But yeah. But I think don't you need a break from the stupidity is way better opening line.
Mm-hmm.
What James picked up.
Well, just to explain why it has to be done. I mean, that's the kind of the thing where, you know, like I was kind of up in the air whether I was going to do Agorapulco from my experience last year with all the things that kind of got stuck in my back. And so I was just waiting for somebody else to take the thing, and then nobody's going to take the reins. So I was like, all right, I got to do
Oh,
it.
come on. The other people picked up the reins, but they're doing their own thing, and we have to bring it all together so it all makes sense, because otherwise it's going to be chaos. Right? Somebody has, and you're right, somebody has to take the reins, but people picked it up. They're just picked it up in weird self-efficacy kind of ways, as opposed to bringing it to the community. Hey, you guys, what if we did this? Don't you need a break from the stupidity? Aren't you exhausted from the insanity yet? It has to be done. It has to be fun, and we're doing it.
Fantastic.
I feel like it needs something in between those two elements, though, that says what it is, like the break, like what is it? Yeah.
Well, I was thinking right after, so we're doing it. Agorapulco, here we come, or
Okay.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that, if you can't leave your country, that should be a little bit farther down, maybe.
Yeah, and I keep getting hung up on this part of the sentence. If you can't leave your country, bound for Acapulco. I don't understand. Am I missing something? I don't understand what this means in this
Yeah,
context.
But if somebody's really a prisoner in their own country, they don't need to hear that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
know
it just.
and they don't need to hear that shit.
Mhm.
So just spend
Yeah,
some interesting, whatever. It's true that if you can't leave your country, and you can add it when you're doing it in voice, but maybe it's better not to, you know what I mean, not to include it here.
Mhm.
Someone has to take the reins. I love it. But would anarchists like the word reigns, because it's got their word reign in it, which is monarchy, isn't it? I've been living with this for a long time. Corrected many times.
I think you spell it differently.
Yeah, but still the reins of a horse like is controlling. So I can see that point.
Mm.
In Spanish, reina is the queen.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's exactly the same.
And I feel like we need something that, Mike, you had said the goal is to let people know this is happening and that it's going to be a little different. But it seems like the action you want them to take isn't clear to me quite yet. Like because you do want people to enlist their value in setting this up, right?
Yeah, well, actually, that was kind of one of the things that I got from the meeting with you, as well as from Nick, or, was this, as I explained it, you're like, oh, I got somebody that would like to do the, be a part of that too. And that would probably be something that we should bring in there, is that, like, and I don't know if I did a very good job of, like, I do like this idea of, like teaching, making aware, healing, all those kind of things. We want those things.
But
We want those people.
Sorry.
I just don't know how to get that.
So I was just thinking, like, people don't like stuff that's new. And is it really new? It's not really new, because we did it all last year. Last year we had a cafe. Last year we had classes. Last year we had parties. Last year we had ceremonies like magical or spiritual ceremonies. We had the mask burning ceremony where we put the fire on the roof and we threw all the masks and blessed the world and all that. We had all these elements last year. So really it's the same as last year, but a new edition, a different edition. We're going to be doing it more downtown than in Bonfield, right? But is it really that different? Like, I think we need to bring the fact that it's the same, that the same people can come and we're going to welcome them in the same way, but it's going to be slightly different this year.
Well, I think last year was really not a good representation, though, because it was really small in comparison to most.
I don't know. I didn't feel it was small. From my perspective, there were 2 or 3 different events a day. I could not attend all of the events physically. There was a lot going on. There were a lot of musical events. There were a lot of beach parties, and I was busy every single day. And there were stuff I was declining every single day. And I never went to one Anarchapulco talk at all or event, as other than your party at your house. That was the only Anarchapulco, and all of the rest of it was Agorapulco stuff. So I don't know where you were on the mountain, but Agorapulco was quite robust.
Well, maybe we should put something in there though about how it's growing and expanding, and do you need somebody's help to have like a place for vendors to land and sign up, or?
That's certainly one of the things. I mean, as far as the way that you got me.
Good now.
Let's try that again.
It's trippy.
Yeah. So, the idea was with the Agora Poco website was that people could, just contact us, and if they had a event or something that they wanted to add, we could put it on the calendar, and that was not done very well. I mean, there was just a lot of trouble in that regard, and so a lot of it didn't function like I wanted it to function, and like nobody, like when somebody would send an email or something like that, nobody would respond for a day or two, and it just felt very clunky and not very helpful. And that's the exact opposite of what I want. I want it to be really welcoming and caretaking and hand-holding kind of feel.
So what's happening right now to fix that problem?
Well, we're just, we're in like week 1 of kind of the planning and figuring out stage.
So maybe we should have something in this press release that attracts the kind of people that can do that, unless you've already got people in mind.
Okay, that's not a bad idea.
And like get in on the ground level and make this year great. Something, team up with us to plan, or if you have a booth idea, like maybe, I don't know, find where you fit in with Agora Poco.
Are you serving the community? And would you like to let the community know that you're providing a specific service? Like in these times where freedom is at a premium, how are you serving the freedom of the people?
So I see that as attracting vendors, but I'm talking about Michael needs people to help, like, with the logistics.
Needs to enlist people.
Yeah.
So something along the lines of volunteers, we're enlisting volunteers.
That sounds awesome.
And is it possible that the old school flavor honor one of Acapulco? Could we just say honoring Nathan Freeman, if everybody knows, and is it on who he is? Just honoring in the honor of Nathan Freeman, and then merge the next paragraph down into some type of enlistment, like Stephanie's speaking of.
Yeah, in honor of one of Acapulco's finest. No, well, yeah, this event is, I think that, yeah, we should switch it. This event is created.
Well, I just say like the people that were at Acapulco in 2015 and 2016, we're talking about, maybe 500 or 600 people that experienced that. That was one in which like everybody just kind of worked together to produce the show. And it was, it was really pretty, haphazard, but to some degree it was also really fun because it was just teamwork, like at the last minute. And
so this is one of
there's something about that I would like to bring. I mean, that's what I'm talking about with the spirit of Acapulco 2015 and 16.
Yeah, it's a good buzzword to infuse that spirit into the volunteerism that you need. In honor of Nathan Freeman, come and be a part of this community in the way that you're a vendor, or that's what I was thinking.
You need to give them more information. Most people reading this or listening to this won't have been there in 2016. 600 people is a tiny amount. So you have to say, let's think about what this year we lost one of our Acapulco's finest, Nathan Freeman, and let's remember the way he ran things. When he ran things, it was like this and like this and like this. And let's see if we can create an event that's at the level that Nathan Freeman would honor. And right now we're looking for volunteers to create an event that's at the level that Nathan would respect and honor him and honor the world in this difficult time, or some shit like that.
Well,
inform them what the actual crux of the issue is, because here the crux of the issue, but you're not sharing it with the audience. You're expecting them to know that this was this really cool in Acapulco, but I wasn't there, so I don't know that. So to me, it's just numbers that mean nothing.
Well, maybe we could say something in honor of the generosity or something, you know, the way that
Volunteerism.
the way that Nathan, you know, he was very creative. It was very fun, you know, it was very haphazard, and that's kind of one of the complaints, because like some of the things when it comes to Nathan's running of the thing was he kind of turned it into, you know, a lot of people thought he was an egomaniac, and it was a lot more about him than the community.
Why are we dedicating this event to him then?
Well, because he did, you know, when he did run it, it was growing tremendously, you know, and people liked it because he kind of accentuated a lot of the stuff. And then he didn't really care if people came in that didn't pay and that kind of stuff. And so, you know, it was all inclusive. And
Oh, the current Acapulco prices of $1,500 per person, that could be really piss somebody off if they had to pay and somebody else didn't.
yeah, well, that's
Acapulco is different. I'm just thinking of that.
that is, you know, that's an opportunity as well. I mean, we could make some kind of comparison between this and what Acapulco is doing. So we could say, you know, for
But
those,
that's not classy.
I know, I'm just saying maybe there is a classy way. I don't know.
Like those assholes that chose a really expensive restaurant, and now they're charging everybody $1,500, and one room night is over $150, and it's ridiculous because there's no need for that in this environment. And so we can get you 2 nights for $100, and
3 nights for $100.
But no, Erwin said not to let you do that.
Oh,
Erwin
yeah,
said
okay.
to make sure not to let you do that, because that's how you make money. You got those hotel rooms for cheap. Your commission needs to go out of the hotel room. You can't give everything to everybody, because that's you end up after the event with zero money.
Yeah.
Because you're working hard. You've already traveled to that hotel twice. So make sure you include the commission in the hotel room. Don't cheap it out.
Yeah.
Right, guys?
Here, here.
Let's make that $300 for 3 nights and entry to the event.
In fact, I want to pay you for all this work. The commission doesn't really matter.
Thanks, James.
Like,
Yeah.
but people are like so embarrassed about making commission off of things, right? It's like, oh, can you go get me some chicken? Okay, I'll go get you chicken. Okay, chicken was 200 pesos. Okay, here's 200 pesos. Is that really fair? The guy just pedaled his little ass to the market and back to get your chicken. You need to give him money for the freaking pedaling.
Yes.
But people don't think about that, and they think that everything should be as cheap as possible, and that doesn't really
Well,
work.
I think that's where you gotta, you know, you like they are used to just basically getting the bottom line. You know, they don't care what the
value that's added.
Yeah.
So what I kind of pictured when you were telling me about the 2015-16 event was that these people came together, and there's a word that's on the tip of my tongue when people come together, and it's not synchronicity, but it's like things just happen.
spontaneous order.
Synergy.
Yeah.
Synergy.
I think synergy must be the one I'm looking for. So if we can kind of describe to people that weren't there for that year, that's what we're looking for, is something that is more affordable and like for everybody, but not try to compare it to Acapulco, but just kind of to describe that, like, we're looking for that synchronicity of people coming together and providing their skills. If you can help plan it, or you want to be a vendor, you know, get a hold of us.
We could also say that if they have a favorite event or workshop from the past that they really enjoyed, they could request it, and we can see if we can make it happen for them. Like last year, people kept asking for more and more face reading. Like I did it 2 or 3 times, and then people were still asking. And so saying, request the workshops you liked in the past could be a good idea to like schedule them.
Yeah, well, that's certainly one. You know, we did that Shark Tank entrepreneur thing in 2016, and that was a big hit, but we never did it again. And so that's one of the things I want to offer, is that one, because it was
And we
great.
can have Kara as an expert from Seattle coming in through Zoom, and we could sit her right there at the table and she can like review the thing, and it would be so fancy.
Oh my.
It'd be fun.
Maybe we can have like a bulleted list somewhere in here that says, like, this is the ways that you can contribute right now. Like, you can volunteer to coordinate vendors so that we have somewhere for those vendors to go and sign up. You can sign up as a vendor. You can vote for what types of booths you liked last time. And then we'll have like, it could even be a link to email one of us for now, but just somewhere for them to go.
Well, and I'd like to also almost, because we've done some really good brainstorming, and I kind of want to almost take a step back, because what I'm thinking here, like, we need to think about the big goals, and also like what we're talking about here is not just, in my opinion, is not just going to be one single email and we're done. This is going to be like, first we got to think about first touch. And so first touch is just letting them know that this is happening, piquing their interest, getting this on their radar, and, you know, and really thinking about like what, and like we talked about at the beginning, what is the one goal of this one email? Is it just to, and again, I'm going to just focus on this as if it's an email. What's the one goal that you want them to take? I think it would be good to have some kind of an action right off the bat. Maybe if that's just replying to this email and letting them know that that they're interested in helping. But identifying what that one goal is, and then thinking strategically. So if we have different things that we're trying to introduce them, we don't want to do all of that in a single email. So thinking about, all right, this is first touch. So we just want to let them know what's happening. Let you know if they have some interest in helping out. Definitely, you know, I think that's the main goal of this first one, is letting them know what's going on and letting them know you need help. That you need, you know, help from people to help make this happen. And then it's coming into things like, I would say a separate email would be good about voting for what types of booths that you liked last time. I think that almost deserves its own email, because you would want to put in like, remind them. I mean, sure, they'll think about like remembering what they liked, but giving them, you know, even a little list of like what things happened last year, and then they can look and say, oh yeah, I really liked that. So that could be its own email in itself. But you know, there's a saying in copywriting that someone needs to be exposed to something 7 times before they take action. Now, that might not be the case with this, because we are, you know, reaching out to people that are familiar with the event, but people are busy. So we want to strategically put these things out. I would say, you know, once a week, if not a little bit more, especially since the event is only a couple months away. So really wanting to, again, just get that first touch out first, and then strategically, like, all right, what's next? What do you want them to know? And what do you, most importantly, what do you need them to take action on?
Well, as far as the strategy is concerned, just to answer what you were talking about, I was thinking about doing almost a daily video kind of thing, because we've got a bunch of different things around town that we can point to, and you know, unique places, and like the boats and the marina and different restaurants that people like that are here. We can kind of make like little tidbit videos that are 1-2 minutes long that say, you know, hey, do you remember this place? This place is great. Here's the proprietor. He still loves you and he's looking forward to seeing you again, kind of stuff along those lines. But that can be tied to, you know, like a weekly newsletter that's just, you know, kind of, you know, maybe given just a little bit more information in Word format of, you know, like what to do in this thing, or if you want to go
We
here.
basically have to do it every week from now till February, make a video and put it up on YouTube or somewhere.
Well, I've got, you know, I
guess
was actually
tomorrow
talking
morning
to
you
Woody.
wanna Recall Mais, because we're going to be there anyway with the guy.
Yeah, so I think I've got some help as far as video editing and getting like the front and back end on these little videos out. But
And is that,
yeah.
is that, I mean, it would definitely help to have somebody to help with that, but is that going to be a hindrance on getting things out? Like, if you can make it where, I don't know, even starting out, if you can do things, I know some things you'll want to go out around and like actually take video of, but there's things that you could communicate just on like a Loom recording, just like a screen recording, communicate your thoughts, put some text on an email and send, and done. things out, like the more that you can do without having to do a bunch of editing and stuff, the better, because you're on a short timeline.
Yeah.
But
Appreciate that.
yeah, doing a little video. And honestly, I mean, the rawness is fine. Just like, this is, you know, it's authentic. So showing them what's out there, attaching that, you know, yeah, upload it to YouTube, have that link in an email with some more information about what you talked about in text, and just keep seeding those things out.
I just had a cool idea. What if we formatted those videos as like you and I are on like a Zoom call and I'm interviewing you, and it's like, then you're the one doing the tour and information, but I'm asking you questions.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
And then we could combine the live video from downtown with the question from the Zoom. That could be fun too.
Well, yeah, I was thinking he'd be walking around like recording and talking to me. Like I'd be like, okay, well, what's that all about? Tell me about that. And then people would see downtown and hear our conversation.
Nice.
Or you could have like just the responses, like somebody says, hey, what, you know, like, how do you get to this or something like that? And then I could say, you know, here's a little video about that or something, right?
Well, also the other thing we could do is I could interview you, like instead of Stephanie, and I could be live there with you.
That would be better. Yeah.
Say, hey, what is this? Like, tell me about this Agorapulco thing. What's going on there? And then you can tell me, you can walk me through it, whatever.
To do it
Well,
from the site.
I actually did a couple of videos. Me and Erwin was out on the streets the other day or yesterday. And so I did a video where I was walking down the thing with Erwin basically next to me. And we were talking about, you know, some of the positives of Acapulco. And it was only, you know, like a 1.5-minute video, but it was, you know, it really kind of hit home on a, just, you know, how cool the place is. And I think Erwin's got about 4 more of those. I do have, if anybody wants that access, let me see if I can find that real quick.
I think it is cool to keep them short too. And if you think of something, oh, I should have done that, just do another 2-minute video in the same day, whatever.
Yep.
And we could use that video with the knife sharpener guy too from the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a logo for Agorapulco?
There's an old one, and I'd like to change it because it's.
Show us.
Let's see. You're asking me to do stuff that I'm very slow at. I don't know. Do you know where my BitChute channel is? Because the last video has got the Agorapulco.
Mic on fire.
Yeah.
I never used a big shit before.
They're all in Acapulco.
No, he said the latest one though, right?
Yeah.
They're all old.
Harmony enhancement, that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't really see it in that thing, but that's the
Down there with the palm tree.
That logo. It's this big thing with like a big background on it and shit. Like, no, that's not a logo, dude. That's a word on a blue background. The logo needs to be identifiable and needs to be able to be used in black and white and color and, you know, cut out and not kind of thing.
I'm picturing a circle with an A, like something small, like a badge type thing, and then
Like
attach
an
it to
anarchy
everything.
badge with a big A in front. What do you think about that? Is that good, or is the anarchy badge bad these days?
What with an
well,
A?
that was kind of one of the reasons that we went away with Anarcho anything and went to Agorapulco is because of the anarchy, you know.
We can still use the anarchy symbol though and call it Agorapulco.
Yeah, but that's kind of the whole idea. We went to Agorapoko was to get away from the anarchy symbol and just the bad, the bad connection.
Agora is bartering. It's more domestic. It's more like swapping out. It's more rural. It's more exchange oriented. I'm trying to put words to a picture.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
goat. Could you put like a goat with a anarchy chain on it?
Goats are small. Can't eat goats. Too many people hate goats.
Okay, that's right.
Well, beach, palm trees.
You want to have edge.
Palm trees.
Yeah.
I kind of like.
How about an anarchist with a beach shirt, a Mai Tai,
Who's an anarchist?
a lot of tats, something like, I don't know what someone who's lived life.
I picture somebody in a hoodie.
Right. That would be a hoodie under a palm tree with a drink in a circle.
Maybe a farmer hat.
Oh, that's
One thing I've learned looking at Agora is nobody seems to spell it the same way. Some people have the accent on the first day. Some people have the accent on the last day.
There's an accent on one of the A's.
Apparently. Maybe not in English. It just seems like it's spelled different in every. Or maybe in Spanish it's on the first day and in French is on the last day. Ah, crazy shit. I just typed in the word Agora, nothing more, and it's coming up in all these different languages.
Okay, so there's a couple videos I put in there. I think one of them is the knife sharpening video that Agnieszka mentioned. These are all, probably in the minute to 3 minute range. I think the last one there, or the one to the right, is the one I did just yesterday with Erwin. Me and him walking down the street.
Reshare with sound.
Just a little more for our trip through Acapulco. Now we're almost to Papagayo Park. We actually ended up on the wrong bus, so got to get off, do a little bit of walking. But again, walking in Acapulco is a very pleasant experience. I think there's just, I was actually thinking one of the things that we can do is kind of tell the stories about Acapulco to people, because there's a different culture here. And you got to have, really, this is a way to introduce yourself to living by essentially adopting a new culture that kind of understands how to take life easy. Acapulco is one of those places that you can do that. And on top of that, you just got a lot of resilient and caring people. They just take care of you here. I mean, I'm a perfect example. I've been taken care of. At times I'm a mess. Yet, here I am. So, I'll testify, this place is good for you. And I'd sure like to see you down here. Take a chance. It's not much of a risk, honestly. So,
That was a good ending anyway. I'd love to see you down here, and boom, good. You can cut the end off on YouTube too.
Yeah, I think that last little bit could probably be cut off.
I like the line. You learn how to live. That was a great line too.
Yeah, so we can do those kind of things every day, and there's a whole bunch of locals here that and little places that we can go to that we can kind of give people an idea of the flavor, and we can do it in a matter of a couple minutes. And, you know, if you, I think it'll be a great way to do it. And then I also wanted to interview some of the people that are, you know, prospective people that are coming down and kind of getting their story from the point of view of, you know, I'm leaving the United States to go down because of this or that, or like my experience with my neighbors, or, you know, a lot of those things. I think we can also, you know, get
Nice.
like the stories that people will identify with, that like they're, you know, they're, because, you know, I think living in the, you know, in the crazy world, you know, there's not a lot of people to talk to about these things. And that's definitely one of the things that a lot of people have expressed when they come down here. It's like, it's like such a breath of fresh air, because, you know, they can talk without being scrutinized.
Can I show you guys some pictures I pulled up? Can I screen share?
Sure.
So I was thinking for a logo, a line drawing of a bus with an awning that's set up as a vendor booth. Can you guys see these?
Nice.
So it would be obviously a lot more simple than these photos, but if somebody could draw something like a
If you
van,
go under settings and type and do like clip art or something, you might get
clip art, yeah, clip art.
There's
of
a couple vans like that here in town. Maybe we get one of those that's like already set up as a grill, or
A lot of times people will do it as a photo booth, but I'm sure like there's got to be something we can do with this as a logo to look like a vendor booth. Somebody just set up a
I
like
got
something
bar
like-
one.
or like that. Like this one here with this red and white one. Like this kind of looks like it could be they're selling something
Mhm.
or set up at a market. You think there might be one as clip art already?
Or we can combine like a red and white awning with a camper bus to make it
Yeah.
look like
Oh,
that.
they put two different pieces together.
Actually, you could just go into settings and just get the clip art from there, you know. Did you know that?
No, I always just type in clip art.
Wondering if someone like Muhammad could come in and do renderings of these in the exact setting.
Ooh.
Oh, that's neat. Oh, you know what? I'm used to Chrome, not DuckDuckGo, because I don't care about my privacy. And there is a setting where you just click one button and it just shows you all the line drawings or all the clip art or all the whatever.
There's a little more clip art here now, but I
Mhm.
was picturing something just
Like
very
this.
simple
Mm-hmm.
With the
and
awning.
with an awning. Yeah. And maybe, I mean, is that clear enough that that's like a vending type deal, like Agora Market, if there's just an awning and it's not just about camping? Or do you think there should be like
Oh,
a
the one
table?
that said food bus, we just changed it to Agorapulco.
Did you
It's a
see
good
one?
idea.
Oh, like this? Yeah.
No, that's a cool one too, but there was a little bit far up, there was one that had a sign on the roof and it said that one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But this one looks more like a moving van. I do like the Volkswagen bus style of vehicle, but we could show this to Mohammed and maybe he could turn this into this.
I don't know, I could just combine the two drawings with Photoshop. We don't need art.
Cool. Oh, I
Send me-
like this one. I
Can
really
you
like this
send
one.
me the two that you like?
Okay.
Well, that one and the food bus one, and I can just cut out the awning. We could even get a better sign too from somewhere else, like a wooden sign or something.
Mhm. I feel like it needs to be drawn separate with all these ideas. Otherwise, I feel like it's going to get too busy and confusing. Like we just want a simple boom, you know?
And get Muhammad to draw it maybe. Not this.
I like that idea. Should I send these to him and ask him? You guys want me to do that?
Thank you.
Okay.
So really quick, because then I want to switch gears and make sure that we get to Phoenix next. But Michael, so I know we didn't do as much work in this writing as maybe we thought that we would, but I think that going back to just thinking about what's the first touch. And so I think you've got some good like introductory text here. Honestly, like I was looking, I don't know if this like stuff is even necessary. I feel like with the audio, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's wasting up real estate that is just not needed. But something, so like inviting, so it could be like, let's spend some time with some interesting, well-read, peace-loving people. But then really launching into it, like, we need your help to make this happen. Like even like a call out for help, and then make like, yeah, a little bulleted point of what kind of things you're looking for. You're looking for coordinators, looking for people, to help with day of the event or setting up or whatever it may be. But like a variety of different ways, big and small, that people can contribute. And then the call to action being to, if you don't have a place for them to like sign up, just reply to this email and let me know that you're interested. It could be, yeah, that's what I would focus on for this first touch. And then just building it out from there. And then we've had a lot of really great ideas in this conversation about how to like keep that content flowing, keep people updated on what's going on. And then also just reminding them for help. And also keep in mind that right now we're at least in, I mean, no, it's different down there, but at least in the States, we're getting ready to, enter into big holiday time and stuff. And so just thinking about the time that we're in, and like people are getting bombarded with a lot of stuff in their inboxes. So like keeping that touch up. However, I will mention, and Joshua and I were just talking about this the other day, that there's this time period from about December 20th into the new year that like all of the big corporations stop all of their advertising and stop their marketing. And so it's actually a good time for small businesses and other people like us to push to get our messages out there. So nice. Yeah, so keep putting things out there. Yeah.
I love this
But
language Colin's putting in here in the chat about, I love the embrace.
There's been a bunch of good stuff coming into the chat. So I definitely will get you that chat file, Michael, and so you can have that stuff to use for some inspiration. But I do want to make sure that we also get to Phoenix in our time frame.
Cool. And Michael has to go anyway.
No, I'm doing double duty. I got the other community meeting on the other device.
Okay, and so then Phoenix, so this thinkpenguin.com, is that what we're going to be looking at?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think what we're going to do is...
Josh sent me the 5 steps to effective promotional script. I sent you guys a Google Doc for that. Got kind of a skeleton of what I want to do for the commercial. I guess I just really need to...
Oh, I missed that part.
Flesh it out.
And I am going to need access.
Oh, how do I do that?
You can share.
I wish I could come over to your room and edit your access settings like I did with Michael. Hang on a second.
I just requested access, but you can also share with my email. Okay.
I think it says now anybody that has the link should.
Perfect. Okay, so let's see what we're looking at here. So is this the writing that we're going to be looking at in this exercise?
I just thought we could use that as a reference to flesh it out a bit more.
Gotcha. And then is this?
And then that's what I have so far. Yeah. I had a little like 15-20 minute meeting with Chris Wade from Think Penguin, and I basically read him an overview of what I've got here, and he liked pretty much everything. So I just wanted to run it by you guys and then like see about how we can flesh it all out. So I'm not really sure like if I want to do like a cinematic type thing throughout the thing, like in audio format, of course, with like some of the different scenes.
Well, first, what we're gonna
Or-
need to do is,
Yeah.
all of us here, we need your like pitch on what are we looking at and what's the goal of this? So Think Penguin, I don't even know what Think Penguin is.
So this is, Think Penguin is a website and company that provides Linux conversion kits, and let's see. They also provide hardware, software, and they do, on the side, they provide de-Googled phones as well. A lot of 24-hour customer support as well for Linux products. And then on the site, they offer various, what's the term? I'm not a computer guy, so it's difficult for me to sell computer products, but different little accessories is the term, for various computer products stuff. They sell hard drives. They sell full desktop computers as well that are all Linux based. And then they also provide routers and VPN services, and like VPN routers with VPN built in.
And then the goal of this video script, what's the main goal of this video script?
To introduce people to Think Penguin, let them know what products they have available, and where to get them.
All right, so why don't you kind of run us through this a little bit and what you're envisioning?
So when Josh provided me this skeleton, I just kind of went in, built it out. For the scene, I have three options. I'm not which one I really want to do. If I want to just do an informational video or audio file. But for the scenes, I've got, kid pisses off the wrong Fortnite player and then they hack his system. Or Ross Ulbricht, but if he had a Think Penguin router, or freedom fighters trying to get their information out to leak. Then introducing the concept is the second step. And so I put Think Penguin products protect your personal information from coercive bad actors, both public and private. And Think Penguin provides a plethora of options and products to use in the digital second realm, from VPNs and routers to Tails flash drives, Linux Mint installation media, or desktop computers like Penguin Pro 2, GNU Linux Desktop. Next part is to give a brief summary of the benefits of Think Penguin is. I think that's what I put. Think Penguin provides quality parts and service at a reasonable price, and their integrity and principles are consistent and transparent. Think Penguin provides expert knowledge in Linux conversions and products. This part I wasn't really sure. Put to rest any concerns or uncertainties the listeners may have. First one I put was the world's ending, and of course my response was, well, the world's always ending. That's even more reason to protect yourself today and stop malicious actors from exploiting your data. One was I can't afford it. I was like, good, commies don't deserve computers. I don't trust you. But Think Penguin has a small company with a transparent track record of living their values. Chris Wade does a few different liberty-oriented podcasts. He's been a co-host for LRN.FM for their Free Talk Live. He also has a show called Decoder, the Freedom Decrypted. It's a tech show that he does on LRN. So like he's got, he can back up his word when it comes like it. Living is hit the values of like libertarian anarchism type stuff. And then to sum it up and give it a strong call to action. So if you're tired of being spied on and you're ready to protect your data, visit thinkpenguin.com now and use promo code GTWLR for 7% off your order. So I basically want to just take that and put it into a 30 to 45 second script that I can use to advertise his business.
Thoughts, friends?
This is completely out of my wheelhouse, but my question would be, how is this different from like something else that protects your privacy? Like I don't know how to even ask my question because this is so beyond anything I'm familiar with.
A lot of different people, there's a lot of different services out there that provide VPN services, but not all of them are as consistent with their track record of having integrity and their principles being behind what the company does. So like with Telegram, it's supposedly, there's questionable leadership behind it, as well as with Signal and even Keybase these days. Like there's really no bastion anymore unless they have leadership at their helm that actually live their principles. And so I think that's one of the biggest advantages that Think Penguin offers. That Chris Wade, as the owner and director behind everything, he has shown that he has the principles and the integrity and consistency that people would want in someone that's going to be providing you with security for your most precious data.
Have you thought about like who is your target audience? Who's your
target
your
audience
one...
is definitely libertarians, anarchists, freedom-minded individuals. So
then let's first just look at like setting the scene. So kid pisses off the wrong Fortnite player and they hack his system. Is that the type of scene for your target audience? I'm thinking no. Just think, so let's see. Something.
And is Ross Ulbricht the Silk Road FBI prisoner?
Yeah.
Who's Ross? So does that say security or does that say more outlaw? Even though we know he's not, but you know what I mean? It's a mixed bag, his image.
Well, I think I think it's worth it to hang your ass out there to try and influence the culture that he was a good guy.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's something I would have to ask. I mean,
I
Chris
get what you're
wasn't
saying, but
averse to
that's
any
more
of
of,
them, but I see
like-
where you're coming from.
yeah, I see where you are coming from too, but it's just, does it help your copy or does it put something out there? Will it attract somebody or will that be something that they look at and go, oh, he's got Ross in there.
Can you make it a list of people, Ross Ulbricht, and then a couple other guys?
Well, like when I put that little line in there as far as the scene, like all I really had in mind was like a shot. Sadly, it was I kept thinking in cinematic forms instead of audio forms, but it was a shot of like somebody coming over the shoulder of Ross Ulbricht, and when the FBI is trying to track him, it shows a Think Penguin logo and it gets blocked, and then being able to track him in the coffee shop, and then he never goes to jail, and history is different. But
That is cinematic. That's effective if they make that association.
Right, if they make that association.
But I just don't know how to like think in terms of audio content.
Right. Well, I mean, the imagery definitely.
So let's back up a little tiny bit, because Ross Ulbricht there's one Ross Ulbricht and there's one Silk Road. It's just one person in a million, right? Your client cannot identify with Ross Ulbricht because it's not there are going to be so very few people that could possibly identify with that example. How can they possibly see themselves in your advertising if you're showing them someone as unique and brilliant and whatever as Ross, right? They're supposed to be able to see themselves in your copy, right? So only unless they think that they're such grandiose that FBI is after them, are they actually is that your target market, the people that FBI is after?
That was more as like a response to like a comment that Chris had made when we were talking. Like he was like, if Ross had one, he wouldn't have gotten caught. And I was thinking like addressing like the pointing out the strength of the security behind the products.
And so that could be a worthy, like, not as far as setting the opening scene, the imagery, but maybe further down, just that, like, imagine if Ross Ulbricht had Think Penguin and how different things could have turned out for him. Like saying that actually as verbiage rather than a scene, because it's also too is like a lot of people might know the name Ross Ulbricht. Are they going to be able to identify that it's him in the scene? There's just different things like that can be tricky with the imagery and being your opening scene.
Okay, I dig that.
And I have to ask, is Ross a public domain? Will his family, I mean, just the lawful angle of that to put him in your advertisement.
Sure, I get that.
I mean, if it shows him in a good light, it'd probably be okay. But
Hmm.
you can always ask. His mom is in autonomy.
You could make it general, say freedom fighters are getting locked up, fly under the radar with Think Penguin.
Okay, I like that.
That's a lot more. And then like think about your target market, the person who's coming to you. What are their problems? Like what keeps them up at night? What is their issue? Because you need to like the pissing off the wrong Fortnite player is a rare occurrence. Rust Outbreak is a rare occurrence, but there is like a day-to-day occurrence where your Facebook gets locked up because you shared the wrong thing, or maybe that's just the first step. What happens next? Like what's next for you? If you're already banned from Facebook, maybe the next step is FBI showing up at your door. Better protect yourself and your data with this penguin thing. The valiant penguin.
Okay, I get that.
Right? Like when the police becomes the enemy, the penguin's there to protect you.
And even if they're not searching you out and looking at you and, trying to crack down on any individual, they're also just gathering this data and strengthening their AI using, everything that we put out there. It's helping them if they can access it. So just like something about like, don't contribute to their pile of data about us. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah.
It's like bringing it down to, because even like, so when introducing the concept, it was lost to me really quickly because we're using a lot of like industry jargon in here that's not going to resonate with your audience. So think about how, even it's honestly like use yourself as a good example, like how you said yourself, there's some of like the technicalities and things like that you maybe don't fully understand. That's good. That means you're in the same spot as your audience is. So how can how can you communicate these things in like a really easy to understand way that's going to like connect with their problems and what they're experiencing. And I like, what Stephanie is talking about, like, don't contribute to all of this data that they're stockpiling on us.
Okay, so take it more from an angle of, not helping the data miners as opposed to just, protecting yourself from government targeting.
I was thinking, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say a good exercise would be so these basically what we're looking at here are a bunch of features. These are a whole bunch of features, no benefits. So think about how you can connect these features to the corresponding benefits. And that'd be a really good exercise for you and a good brainstorm of just be to like list them. I mean, that's an exercise that I have in the copywriting course, doing a features and benefits exercise. So you got like a 2-column spreadsheet. One side, you list every single feature that you could possibly think of about what you're offering. And then on the right-hand side, list out all of those corresponding benefits. And so really, really good exercise. And it helps your messaging and your copy practically write itself.
All right.
James, you have more stuff to say.
Well, no, you went on. I was thinking that you could even have a kid there playing Fortnite and then get swatted. But that's so 5 years ago, and I don't think there's any police to do that anymore. But something as dramatic as that, that would take away Ross and that element and put it into a different context where somebody data mined to call the police to get someone to do that. Might be 5 years ago.
I haven't been paying any attention to the chat and what's going on in there.
Helen just dropped a bomb. That was great. Think security, think privacy, think love that.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
that's good.
I'm not sure, like, if I think I've got like the structure is really weird as far as because I don't really understand exactly how to format it in terms of like, this is your opening point, like as far as setting the scene. And I mean, I understand the structure that is in the in this skeleton that Josh sent me. But as far as taking that and transmitting it into the actual script for what I have, like I'm imagining there is, during setting the scene, you're introducing them to a problem. And then the concept, and then introducing the concept is introducing them to the solution. The benefits is what you're going to get from the solution, and putting to rest the concerns is really just answering rebuttals before the person thinks of them, right? And then summing up, giving a strong call to action. That's where you just tell them that's where you literally tell them what you want them to do, right?
Right. And like, and you're on it. Like a classic copywriting formula is problem, agitation, solution. So introducing a problem, and that hooks them in. They're like, oh, I understand that. I've had that problem. I know that problem. And you agitate a little bit by digging in a little bit deeper into that problem, and then presenting your solution, hitting them with a ton of benefits. So, I mean, that's essentially like that's pretty much what this is doing. And of course, I also don't have as much expertise in like the video script stuff, but there's those fundamentals that are, you know, the same across the board. And that's that problem, agitation, solution.
Okay. I'll try and integrate that when I go to work on
And it's like, I mean, like I said, like this stuff, people aren't going to care about this. They're going to care about what these things are going to do for them. It's going to be the very few. And I mean, on the super tech savvy guys that are going to like salivate over this kind of language aren't going to make up your target market. They're probably already going to be pretty familiar with this stuff.
Okay.
And I like the Oren Clough of frame it. You know, so setting the scene is really nice. To frame it, move it in, and get all the security that you need out of that one problem. So setting the scene is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let their mind wander into other things with all the jargon.
Well, let me get rid of these two. This will show up right here, guys. Yeah. So as far as setting the scene,
Helen,
I'm not really sure what else to put in here. I guess.
Well, so think about the person that buys this from you, and think about how they're falling asleep, right? And what are the thoughts that are going through their head as they're falling asleep? What are their worries? What are they really concerned with? Like what's really keeping their sleep away that you can solve with this product?
Whether or not the data systems that they have is going to withstand an attack or the next little major virus that goes around. I guess in the current, trying to think like 2022.
So what would
like
happen if it didn't withstand it? What would be the thing that would happen if it didn't withstand the next attack?
If it was a small business, they would lose all of their accounting data or customer client basis. They could lose access to their own website through ransomware attacks.
Yeah, and so what would be the consequences of that?
Lost revenue from business, secrets get exposed, or
personal
life be
information
destroyed.
Public embarrassment.
Yeah.
I like that, Nick. Nick's brilliant.
Guilty of wrong thing.
So
I gotta take a really quick important call. I will be right back, guys.
So, let's see. Introducing the concept. I'll probably rewrite all this thing after I go take a look at that. At least the first few parts of the copyright.
after talking to us.
Yeah.
I know we're not nice people.
So that's a good thing.
You're so great at taking feedback. You're really open.
Well, I mean, I'm not married to any of the stuff, you know, I don't know how to do copywriting. So, I mean, this is a crash course in,
Well,
I got no problem going high speed.
this is like a different level of copywriting, because a lot of copywriting is informative, right? Or it's reactionary, right? But this is an emotional level of copywriting. So it's not informative, it's not reactionary. It's like how to get them to feel a certain way, or how do they already feeling this way, and you want to make them understand that the vibration of your feeling is the same as their vibration of their feeling, and then they'll feel really open-hearted towards whatever you say next, right? So just like in psychology or psychiatry, you meet the client where the client's at. You know, if they're crazy in the crazy world and there's dragons, you gotta explain to them that you can see the dragons, right? Because otherwise there's no talking to this person, right? Unless you're there with them. So you meet them at a certain level, and then you bring them to where your solution comes.
Okay, I got you.
So like these people, they're afraid that, you know, the government's listening in on them, the walls have ears, they're afraid that they're going to steal their data, they're afraid that whatever they're writing is now subversive and maybe it's illegal, and oh my God, you know, things that were legal yesterday are becoming illegal today. Are you sure you're safe? You know, the stuff that you have on your computer, are you sure this is legit? Because they can take that shit away and lock you up for it, right? And they can go back 10 years to check what you were doing 10 years ago, even though it was legal then. It's kind of a crazy world we live in. So those kind of people, if they realize that that's the danger, right? That there's danger in their own computer, they will be able to buy Think Penguin because they'll see the solution, right?
Right.
But maybe they don't even know that they have this problem yet, right? So they are already thinking about safety and security, or they're not yet thinking about it, but they need to.
I think the focus of I think what I should really focus on, because I'm looking at some of the stuff that I had down at the bottom. And one of the things is out of the box hardware that makes Linux simple. Because one of the main things that Chris tries to advocate on is getting people to transmit over to Linux and get away from Windows products. So maybe if I take that route and like the value behind their products is that for those that want to get away from Windows, that want to have a more secure system, Think Penguin provides out of the box hardware and support for individuals to make that change over to Linux, as opposed to just these are the products and services that he sells, and he's got VPNs that protect you, but more so like, you know,
But
Windows and
users
Apple
only?
are all garbage. Say again?
Is this only for Linux users?
No, but that's his focus. He sells mainly products in the Linux domain, and you know, he advocates for people to get away from Windows products.
So we can capitalize on that too. We can say, so you've taken the step of installing Linux, then logical next step is Think Penguin, right? You've already switched away from those commercial evil guys that steal your information, but you're still not quite protected. You need to take the next step to truly protect yourself.
I think the Penguin is kind of the representation of Linux. That's why it's.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
I don't understand these things.
Yeah, the Penguin is kind of the representation of Linux.
Yeah, this whole conversation came about because I was getting a de-Googled phone off of him, and I just kind of offhandedly, as we were making the final decisions, was like, you know, would you mind, giving me 50% off on the phone if I do like 6 months of advertising for you? He's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. I was like, okay, cool. Crap, now I got him. Do you have any copy that? No, I got nothing. All right, well, I guess that means I got to make a commercial now too.
I'll just mention this because it came up in my head and I can't get it out. The idea that like when you're out on the street and like the street kind of the street savvy people are kind of looking for the marks, the people that can be taken, easily. I think, the current technology is one in which that's kind of the case, right? That like people are self-reporting on themselves, like what their fears are, what their interests are, all this through the metadata that's being collected through their, their actions on the internet. And so this is kind of a way that you stop that. So I don't know. It's describing that being the mark, like, are you tired of being the mark? Being taken advantage of? Because that's how they're controlling the fear, because they throw out a fear message, and if everybody reacts to it, they know they've pushed the right button.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm thinking probably like the first 15, 20 seconds. That's like the setting the scene, right? And that's where you have to establish the, the parameters. That's where you show what the problem is. Based on what I've got, I think I can revamp it into like, the problem is that too many people use unsecure networks and unsecure hardware. And, Think Penguin provides Linux hardware that is secure and hardened. And I think that's probably where I should go with it.
Any idea or anybody know how much Linux operating systems are of the total percentage of operating systems out there? Is it like 1% or like 5%? I know it's not a whole lot.
I have no idea.
But it is, like the people that are using Linux.
2.09%. Desktop operating system market share worldwide is 2.09% Linux as of November 2021.
So it's not a lot. And, to a large degree, they're like, those people are not being farmed nearly as hard as the Windows
Right.
folks and other OS.
Well, I think I guess the target audience then is Windows users. So, I'm not necessarily targeting liberty-oriented people or, it's anybody that uses Windows that wants more security.
There's more and more people trying, that are like fleeing things like Facebook and trying to get away from these programs because so much of this stuff is becoming more common knowledge, and they're seeing so much of it, especially all the censorship, all these different kinds of things that are happening. More and more people are looking for different solutions and ways to get away. So I know, like, and something like Linux might have previously just seemed too intimidating for them. So maybe that's when you started talking about, this out of the box hardware that makes Linux simple, that spoke to me as somebody who's not knowledgeable on this kind of stuff at all. So how that's a big value add on how this can be like, help the everyday person make this big shift out of this, mainstream unprotected space into this protected space.
Yeah, I think that's really where I need to focus on, because that's really where his company focuses. So that makes a hell of a lot more sense than what the hell I had. So for setting the scene, I guess it would be too many people use Windows, and I don't know if people use Linux.
And I'm wondering if there's like, more people you could brainstorm on that's better with like the visual imagery for something like this, where like, we're talking a lot about words and verbiage, but if you're doing a video commercial, that takes
that's it though. It's not a video, it's audio.
Oh,
It's audio only. Yeah.
Oh,
But my brain, I just keep
Oh.
thinking in terms of video.
yeah,
I'm
I've
trying to
been
like,
thinking from the whole time that this was
yeah,
video.
me too. I was showing a mock Windows product and then have it crash or get ransomware or something, but the visuals aren't there for that. You'd have to verbally
I mean, I was thinking like when I first
sound effects.
had proposed something to Chris, it was in the terms of like, Mom, what did I say? Mom, the Windows machine crashed again. Honey, did you call Think Penguin yet and get set up with the new Linux? Oh, I guess I'll get on that right now, hon. You know, something along those lines. And he
So-
kind of dug that. He laughed at that.
So then you need is an opening hook. And
Mhm.
so now like, oh man, this changed like the whole game that now we're talking about. So like something, verbal audio than video. So then it's something like, catching them right off the bat, like, do you value privacy? Do you, what are some good opening hooks for this? Like, do you want to, I still like what, Stephanie did. Do you want all of your data to be pooled into these big corporations and these big companies? Bringing it back to what they value.
Mom, I can't play Fortnite until we pay the ransom.
Just a little quick side note here in regard to figuring out the audience and what is the audience that's conducive to this message, Kara. How would you typically go about that? I actually had a conversation with Nick a little earlier about his interest in possibly doing some research, and maybe this is our research guy, by the way, Kara. But could you talk just a little bit about that?
Yeah, this would, this is where the foundational piece that's missing here is that step of audience research. So, we can do all of this brainstorming and we can do all this guessing and all of it, making all these assumptions on what we think the target audience, what their biggest problems are, but we can verify that by actually going and doing some research. So this is where you're going to want to like take some of these keywords as far as, Linux, privacy, just these different kinds of keywords, and start searching on the internet into discussion forums and comment threads of what people are actually talking about. What are their problems and what kind of words are they using to describe these problems? And so it's not until like you really start doing a lot of that research and like asking questions that you're going to start finding out these answers. And so it's going to start taking the guesswork out of this.
Right.
So,
And I know like one of the main complaints that Windows users always have is the machine auto updates.
mhm,
And I know with Linux, you get to control all that.
mhm.
So, I mean, I could focus on something like that as well.
Oh,
And
but if you turn it off and it doesn't auto update, bad things happen. Like your internet stops working and stuff. They like grab you by the balls and squeeze.
Well, I don't think Linux has had a virus yet.
Hmm.
Like no operating system using Linux has actually suffered any kind of virus attack, software attack. So it is incredibly resilient in comparison to Windows.
so unlike Windows and humanity, Bill Gates never designed a virus for this platform.
That's good.
Like everything else. Not just humanity.
And that's probably because it's only 2% of the marketplace, and it's just not worth the effort,
Sure.
for the
Mhm.
virus makers to. That's certainly one of the things that it uses to its advantage at the moment.
Yeah, Windows users are low-hanging fruit. But that's the idea, right? You want to make yourself hardened. You want to make yourself a hard target. It's online and in the real world.
So I heard the entire Parliament of Germany is on Linux. They switched from Windows back when they started suing. But they haven't been hit with a virus, So to your point,
Mhm. Really quick, I'm going to grab something for you guys that will help out after this. Let me grab this for you and show you what I'm talking about. All right, this is a nice little resource list that can especially help while you're all waiting so anxiously for the copywriting course to be completed. I would recommend you check out this particular copywriting clinic. This is where we've covered audience research. And it's going to kind of give you that, just that lowdown of how to conduct this kind of research to try and get the insights that you're looking for. I'm going to put a link to this entire sheet into our chat for anybody here that has not seen this yet.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. And this will just kind of, like I said, help give you more than I can do in a little 5-minute pitch, kind of show you how to actually do this kind of research in an effective way. And then there's other really awesome stuff in here too. And then there's links in here to the handouts from those clinics. And so, for example, the handout for Know Your Audience has a spreadsheet template involved in it that helps you have a place that you can catalog this research and these different things that you're going to find out. So it's a step that'll take a little bit. You want to invest, I mean, at least a couple hours into this. I mean, obviously there's a time just like going through the video, understanding what you're doing, but dedicate a couple hours to this. And it's really, really going to help the whole, just setting the whole foundation for everything that you're going to do for this. So you can find those patterns, that's the thing is, again, like we know a lot of these problems, but what are the ones that are keeping people up at night? What are the ones that are going to really grab your audience? And that's what you want to focus on. So the research is going to help you find the patterns, find like the things that are coming up over and over and over so that you can speak to that right off the bat. That's where you want to hook them in.
All right, cool.
Got some stuff going here.
All right, I've got that open in another window.
Awesome.
And, like, yeah, I've got like, I'm 5 hours away from my drop. I thought it was supposed to drop today, and apparently it's a Monday drop. So I've got the whole weekend to just sit here and devote to this stuff. So I told Chris I'd have something ready for him sometime this weekend when I spoke to him on Tuesday, and I just literally haven't had any time to devote to it yet, except for today.
Totally.
So I'll take a look at what you sent over, and then try and apply some of those ideas, and then do a couple more drafts of this. Now that I've got a better idea of what I actually want to accomplish and who the audience is, I think I can better tailor it in that fashion.
Yeah. And after you get like a brief little, script started, if you can, try and schedule a role play with an autonomy student and run through this. If this is going to be an audio thing, you want it to be conversational, and so that they're going to, it's going to be receptive on the other end of people actually hearing it. And so you could practice with some other autonomy students, and they could help iron this out.
It's a good idea. I think it would make it.
Well, friends, we are reaching the end of our couple hours. How y'all feeling?
That was fantastic. Thank you, Michael. Thanks,
great.
Phoenix. That was great. That was something I'd never encountered before, was the copy of that, set the scene, an audio version. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it was initially for a video, for a video promotional script. And so I've just kind of had to adapt it to audio only.
Awesome.
I want to show you guys a drawing that I just made for Michael.
Cool.
You want to see?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that, just to keep me under the gun, I do the project management tips and tricks on Monday morning. So if you come to that or the office hours afterwards, that's an available time. And of course, the leadership ethics and organization on Wednesday evening. You can always catch me there.
Good.
And we can continue just updating with all the stuff that's going on in the meantime.
Cool.
Nice.
Agnieszka, that's pretty cool.
It's not a logo. but there wasn't like, I couldn't find stuff simple enough for a logo, but I thought that was cool. And I took out the anarchist symbol from the front of the bus and I put Acapulco in there instead.
That's
Sweet.
magic.
Huh?
It's magic. Look at that. Amazing.
And, you know, of course, when we do this is always in February, and February 14th is always kind of one of the days that we want to, you know, we want to capture. So this is right up that alley too. So awesome.
So, Michael, is there still a ton of toasters happening, and when is that?
Yes, that's Sundays at 9 a.m. Central Time. So I guess that would be for Westerners, that would be 7 a.m.
Mhm.
Okay.
Ridiculously early.
Yes.
Many times when I lived on the West Coast, I would show up like this.
Like a
You
zombie.
show up like that, I'll show up like that, Agnieszka. Hey
All right,
guys, I'm gonna
friends.
be hosting Do It Live on Saturday. I want you guys all to come. I'm gonna try to talk
awesome.
about everything that I saw this week in autonomy, including this meeting we just had.
What time is our
Great.
meeting with the guy from Ian Crane, the buddy? Ian Crane buddy.
I think it's 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
Okay, so we'll be back by the Do It Live.
Yes.
Cool.
I just don't want to promise shit I can't deliver, you know?
Being excellent.
Trying, failing. But that bus is cool.
That bus is cool.
I know. I'm gonna share it with Mohammed. I got some other ones to share with him, and I'll say this is kind of, you know, what Agnieszka created with our vision. Like, show us what you got, if you're willing.
And it shouldn't really, like, I was gonna add a ribbon somewhere that says Respirar Acapulco. I'm asking Chris McMillan, by the way, whether it's Respira or Respirar, because in the translator, both mean the same thing, but I know it's not the same thing. One is like a directive and one is like a relax or something. There's a difference.
Well,
So-
respirar is like just the basic verb without being conjugated. If you're going to conjugate it as like, this is what you should do, is
It's
respira.
Oh, Respira. But every time Erwin says it, he puts the R at the end.
That sounds weird to me.
It's definitely sounds like there's an R at the end. I'm not sure if there is.
So that's
all
why
the
I'm
time,
checking
but
with Chris, because I don't think we would get a good answer from Erwin anyway. But Chris is a Spanish teacher and he's got other Spanish teachers in his back pocket. So he's good for these kind of questions.
My feeling with the respirar thing was just a smiley face with green as the background, but you know, it's got to be the right green. But you know, the idea there was we can breathe because it's green, you know, like that the green flag thing, the green phase or whatever the hell they got.
Put that on the front of the bus.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, but yeah, if you could.
The COVID level green.
Yeah, the COVID level.
Oh, threat level green. Okay.
Yeah, so we're just gonna take over the thing and say it's green, okay?
Yep.
And like so like we hand out these stickers to all the local vendors and stuff, and they're gonna have like a green sticker that says Respirar Acapulco.
Respira,
It's green.
calmate, it's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No mask required. Breathe.
I think it maybe just in Mexico that they have the weird happy face. Maybe other countries don't have the happy face.
I don't even know what this is. This green.
It's like a different color happy face.
Well, you know, just the regular smiley face, but just green instead of yellow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then the yellow one that is not smiling, and the red one is like unhappy.
Okay.
It's
So it's
brainwashed.
like when you go to the doctor and it shows your pain level from 1 to 10 with different faces.
do they do that for
There you
DEF
go.
CON too?
Nuclear contamination.
Yeah, nuclear, right, with a red happy face, sad face.
Oh,
I'm
semaphore.
radioactive. Wah, wah.
Well, all right, friends, I'll get the recording of this uploaded and I'll post the chat file as well, so that you can get all of these awesome copy suggestions that flowed in while we were talking today. And yeah, this is fun.
Thank you for sharing those
Yeah, definitely
resources.
thank you, Helen and Nick, for all your thoughts in the chat.
Yeah,
Some gold
it's-
in there.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. You really helped me develop this whole much better direction.
All right. Talk to you all later.
Thank you, Kara.
Bye. Have a great
Have a
weekend.
great day. Indeed.